remember we said Ani and then your name. What does that mean? I am. Ani means I. But they don't have an am and is and that sort of thing, so you just say I am. What's me and how?
And you?
Who are you? Me is who. Ata is masculine. At is feminine. So last week we went around, remember we said Anisu, Miata. Who are you? Yeah, when you meet somebody, you say, I'm Sue, who are you? What do you say next? Nice to meet you, basically. This is, Meo is very, okay, very pleasant or nice. Okay, very nice. Here again, it's just conversation. They don't, there's another way to say it too, but it's long, more high language than just if you're going to meet someone on the street. Nice to meet you. So, we're going to try that. Just go in your little group of 3, so it doesn't take us very long. You introduce yourself, ask the person next to you what their name is, and then say, Naim Male. Can you say that? Naim Male. Remember, A-E-O. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. All right. All right, let's go through the vowels real quick. When you don't say anything, just think, because takes a while to go around the room here. So you have a double dot. How does that? What's the sound it makes? Eh. Anybody tell me what it is?
2 dots.
Sere. You don't necessarily have to know it to read that it's a sere, but on your practice sheet there, I gave you all 3 of them if you did want to learn what they were, but you definitely need to know that it's an eh sound. All right, look at this one. This is one of the new ones last week, if you weren't here. So that is a ta. Remember, some tas have a doggish in the middle of it, but it just makes it a harder sound. And they used to have in modern Hebrew. Pardon?
And which one was which?
The dot is it.
Yeah, the dot is a doggish. It makes it a hard sound.
Okay, so hard. Okay.
So
without it, it would be.
Yeah, and without it would be a th.
I know they're all the same now, but I want to learn both. So,
yeah. All right. This one, don't say it yet. Don't say it yet. It does not have a doggish, so it is a bet, because a B is a soft sound. Okay. But with the doggish, then it is a bet, because the doggish makes it a hard sound. Okay. This one. Resh, and you kind of flip your tongue if you really want to do resh. If you can't, just resh, it's okay. It might just take you a while to actually learn the letters. Dalet. What's the difference between the dalet and the resh?
the dollar is a little
Put a hat on.
The resh is sort of rounded.
And that one's got a tail.
It has a little sticking out thing there, but it's really hard to tell. If you did your work this week in the book, it's really hard to tell the difference, isn't it?
Sometimes.
So once you get the hang of it, though, your eye will automatically know the difference. All right. What sound? Ah, and it's a batah.
It's Klingon, isn't it?
Yes. That's Klingon.
It's a real language too.
Y'all don't know the Jews went to Klingon first.
All right, come on. It's also a sound, and yes, they have. If you look on the back of your sheet, I just gave some of you. I can't remember what's on the back of, but there are long vowels and there are short vowels. Technically, they are pronounced a tad bit different, but I'm telling you, you can't hear the difference, and when you do take conversational Hebrew from Israel, they're not gonna have a difference. They don't. I can't. I did it for 5 years. I can't remember one time they talked about a short vowel or a long vowel. So this one here, sheen. Sheen. Remember that the I, when you look at the transliteration on your sheets, is an E sound. So whenever you see an I, it's actually an E sound. So sheen. And which side is the dog? This is not a doggish. It's on the right side. Okay?
Seen.
Seen. Yeah. I taught geometry and they did a lot of sinning on the sin, cosine, and tangent. I hated it. Instead of sine, they would say, oh, it's sin. We're not sinning in here. Okay. Did everybody get the book? We do have our books. So if you did not. Alright, let's open up our book. We are learning, we are on lesson 5. So we have learned a lot of letters so far. Today, we are going to learn a little bit more about Hebrew and the fact that they have ending letters. So, first of all, we're going to look at Lamed. Okay, Lamed. What do you think that's going to sound like? L. How do you transliterate it? With an L. That's right. Lamed. Okay, you ready to try and write it? It's kind of a pretty letter. I think it's one of my favorites to draw. So, to me, I'm a music teacher also, so it kind of looks like a fancy, yeah.
So you start at the top.
Again, let me just tell you, because I'm trying to teach my granddaughter to write, and I always tell her start at the top, blah, 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 how to do it. But when she brings me things, I don't really care, you know, if she started at the bottom, if it looks correct. But this one, you gotta make your circle first, and then you go up and make your hook. Okay? That's a lamed. It's a lamed. Looks like either a note or a Christmas ornament that you would hang on a tree. A cherry. Okay, so this is a lamed.
It's a llama. That's its head.
And you would transliterate it with an L. The next one is a mem. A mem. So the mem, what letter will it sound like? Okay. The good thing is that the letters sound what they are named, okay? And so you would transliterate it with the M, right? This one, remember that Hebrew goes from right to left, so you're going to start on the right side, and it kind of looks like an N. It'll look like an N, but you're going backwards. You go. I love writing it. Mem. And you transliterate it with the M. Okay. So you start on the right and you go to the left. As you can see, writing in cursive is faster because if you had to try and draw that mem, it would be harder to draw. Why? Just maybe a little harder, maybe not real hard, okay? So, any questions on the lamed and mem? Now, we are not introducing a new vowel yet. Yay. So, let's just start with line 6 on page 25. And we're gonna start with
Terrence?
Terrence. Terrence, can you, and we'll go around this table. 25, line 6. Just read one of the words. Remember, you're going right to left.
Yeah, I am. I'm just yeah, I'm sorry.
Malay, okay, next one. Mela, next. Malay. Now, it's actually le, malay, but a lot of times at the end of a word, it kind of sounds like an Malay, but it's but if it sounds like Malay, okay, that's fine. Next. Mala. Last one.
That would be metal.
Mal. Mal. Remember how many syllables? How can you tell how many syllables there are? By the vowels. All right. Line 7.
That would be Leva.
Lava. Okay. Next one. Can you do the next one? You want to do the next one?
Right here. You,
Laura. Very good. Next. Lada. Next. Y'all are getting good.
Oh. The shop.
Lasha. So that would, who wants to tell me how you would transliterate that? Just so we know.
L-A-S-A.
L-A-S-H-A. That's right. Sha. Okay, next. Latte. Line 8. Med. Right, there's only one vowel, so there's only one syllable. Okay, we'll start right here. Second word here. Mar. Next. Mod. Next one. Mod. It's an
It is the monster.
He's getting mad at it. All right, next one. Mosh. Mosh. Good. Okay. Next. At the very end. Last one on 8. Mott. Okay. Number 9. Now we have 3 letters, but how many vowels? 2 vowels. So it's still 2 syllables, but you will have a consonant on the end instead of an e or an a. Okay. Next.
That's some bread now.
You're not. Yeah. Number 9. Lavash. Very good. Lavash. All right. Next. Latet. Very good. Next. That third one on 9. Lava. Now, guess what? We're starting to learn some words here. You'll see here in a minute. We're going to go over the vocabulary in a minute. Okay? You want to do the last one? It's a hard one because how many syllables does this one have?
3.
3.
That's hard.
Yes, in the heart. Volleyball. Oh, I love volleyball. Yeshua volleyball. Well, actually, not in my heart, in the heart. Okay. So turn to page 31. 31. So now you have some vocabulary because now you're actually learning words. What's this, the 3rd week and y'all are almost professional Hebrew students?
we're gonna go see some red dragons. I don't know.
I don't know.
Like
Just
the Chinese.
remember, this is a children's book. But,
Was he spitting out an alien?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's what we figured.
So you
Holy
should be,
carrot
by
cake.
now, you should be noticing some of
It's
these
humorous.
letters on the screen on Shabbat morning, right? So you need to start kind of, they have the transliteration up there, but they also have the Hebrew. So kind of start looking at the Hebrew as you're saying the different prayers and blessings and scripture. All right, so this one, I have actually put this on the Google Classroom so that if you want to know for sure how to pronounce them correctly, you can. But since we don't have a lot of time, I think we can. That didn't take us very long. All right, let's start over here this time. What is sun? Oh, you're on the wrong page. 31. 31. How do you say sun? Bar. Okay. What word do you know that starts with bar? A bar what?
Bar mitzvah.
A bar mitzvah.
Bar mitzvah.
Yeah, so that's for the what? The boys. That's right. All right, next one, sings. Shar, leader. Sar.
So a song leader would be a star or a sharp star. Which would it be? If you were a song leader, would it be star or sharp star?
I don't know, I'll look
Would
that one
you
up.
say leader of the song, or would you say song leader?
Sar Shalom, you see a lot. What is Sar Shalom? Prince or leader?
Leader.
So he could mean
The leader
prince.
of Shalom.
Right, prince or leader of Shalom. All right, next one, Mr. Mar. Did we miss someone over there? Yeah.
He's died.
All right. Well, if you're not going to say, you get the harder one. Date. This is somebody's name in the Bible. Yes.
But didn't she have a long name?
Tamar. That's right. Tamar.
Now is that date as in the fruit?
Yes, that's like your eating one.
That is today is the 14th.
I know. When I was
See,
in
the English is crazy.
When I was in
Somebody
Israel,
recorded.
I had the best, yummiest dates. So I put on. Oh wow, I haven't had a date in a long time. Being single is.
Yeah.
All right. Next. Nice. Next. 6. What's the word for 6? Shesh. Shesh. Okay. How about sit? Alright. Now, this one, remember we talked about the doggish at the end of this name. What's the name, Seth? What do you say? Shet. Yes. Shet. But since it doesn't have the doggish in there, they transliterate it as a TH because it's a softer T. So that's why you get Seth. Okay? But you'll probably not really do the difference when you're going to start doing these more. All right, where are we?
Shouldn't it actually be the dot on the other side to be Seth? Otherwise it would be Shet.
S-H-E-T.
Yes, but this is S-E.
Oh, yeah, they didn't put the H.
I'm saying is the S.
On the sheen.
Oh,
Would be an
She, the
SAT.
dot's on the right, so it'd be Shet.
They went with the S-H. It should be Shet.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
I think
Chef.
it's chef.
They don't curse in Israel.
It's not a set.
Yeah, it's not Seth.
The
it's
name is
Seth.
Chef.
Oh well. Alright.
Yeah, they didn't transliterate it right. Ooh, it's not.
That's right. They didn't take my class. Alright, your turn, right here. To give, what's to give? Latet. Latet. Now, this is not to give charity, it's just to give something. Service. What? Charette. Very good. Daughter. Lot. So what's a girl's? Lot. Next. Religion. Dot. Put.
Shot put.
Shop.
Like a shot put.
That's right. Shop. Alright, many.
Rabat.
Rabat. Alright, Sabbath. Shabbat. Shabbat. Okay. Rabbi. Rob. Linen. Pet. Bod. And return. Shav. And glad. Fun. Alright, the next one I'm just going to read because we're going to talk about the Shabbat and some of the blessings here. Resh, Shaval is thing, broke. Shaval, guarded. Shaval, guarded. Shamar, attendant. Shamash. Where do you see that coming up? The Shamash candle. And where do we use the Shamash?
Shamash, the one that attends the other.
Hanukkah. What we're using
The
it for
menorah.
Hanukkah.
A thing is a davar. Broke is shavar. Oh, we already did that. War, lavash. Heart, lavav. That's why Balevav is in the heart. Lamad. Lamad is studied. Proverb, mashal. Hail, barad. Barad.
Now,
Explain.
hail is like
Hail, like,
the hail coming down from the sky.
yeah, dings your car. Darash. And speak. Now, at the top is the Hebrew, then in the middle is the transliteration, and then the English. Okay? As far as I know, there's only one way to really sing this because I've been in a lot of different shuls and different synagogues. They all sing this one the same. Some things you can go from synagogue to synagogue or congregation to congregation and everybody sings it differently. But I think this one is kind of universal.
The top one.
Yes.
Okay.
This is the lighting of the candles on Shabbat. So it's Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadliknei shel Shabbat.
There's about 15 Messianic Jews.
And yeah, and this one is different too, so, but we'll just read it. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. So that starts almost every single prayer blessing, so that's the same. Asher kitshanu. I almost have to sing this. Bivarecha v'natan lanu et Yeshua v'shichenu v'tzivanu lahiyot or la'olam. Amen. Let me sing it. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu. Oh, I got
That's
I
it,
got it wrong.
You're doing a different one.
I got it wrong.
Down here.
Um,
It doesn't,
hold on.
it doesn't.
I always do the regular one, so.
This one is extended one.
Anyway, it's blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who sanctified us by your word and gave to us Yeshua, our Messiah, and commanded us to be the light to the world.
This one, I understand.
Alright.
This one doesn't have the transliteration.
I never read it.
No. What I'll have to do is see if I can try to post it, sing it and post it this week when I'm not all flustered, so. Alright, our brachot. The brachot is on the back. The Shabbat candle lighting bracha falls under the category of brachot, mitzvot, a blessing said when one fulfills a commandment or mitzvah. Once a week on Friday night, we light the Shabbat candles to usher in the Shabbat rest. The source of this tradition comes from Shemot 35:3. You shall not kindle a fire in any of your dwellings on the Sabbath day. Therefore, the candles are lit to provide light right before sunset when the Shabbat rest begins. While most blessings are said before the mitzvah is performed, this particular blessing is said after the mitzvah, because a fire cannot be kindled on the Sabbath. I have to tell you a funny story. I mean, I didn't understand when I was growing up. I grew up in a Jewish community, and I lived next door to an Orthodox rabbi. And so every Friday night, they didn't have timers like they do now. Now they have timers, so they just live kind of normal, and then when they go to bed, their lights go off, okay? But back then they didn't. So every Friday night, the wife would come over and ask my brother if he would come over and turn out all the lights. So I thought it was because they couldn't do any work. And I'm like, she did more work coming over getting my brother than she would have done. But it's not because of the work. It's because they can't turn out or extinguish a light.
They can't extinguish the flame. But it is because of work, because extinguishing a flame is considered work.
I know.
Because it used to be a big ordeal, but now it's not anymore.
It's different. So the candles are lit by a woman in the home, usually the wife. As a Messianic believer, we recognize that it was a woman that brought forth Yeshua to be the light of the world. The woman draws the light to her 3 times, and then covers her eyes to say the blessing. The Sabbath day is considered a feast day, and you should not fast on this day. It is a day of rejoicing, for God rested on the 7th day and saw that everything was good. He rejoiced in it. If a fast day falls on the Sabbath, then another day of the week is picked to fast, and mourning for the loss of the day of rejoicing. But we don't do that as Messianics. Therefore, the Shabbat meal is usually festive and elegant, with family and friends gathering and eating without thinking about the cares of the world. The husbands bring flowers to their wives and wine for their friends. A special bread is made. What's it called? It's braided with 3 cords. After the lighting of the candles, the night starts. 24 hours of holiness, blessing, and rest. The next night, as the day comes to an end, there's another celebration called Havdalah. This is Havdalah's separation. At this time, a 3-cord candle is lit and then extinguished, signifying the end of the holy day and back to work. Then we pass a spice box full of cinnamon and another sweet-smelling spice, which smells heavenly, which symbolizes the lingering scent of the sweetness of Shabbat. Anybody have any questions?
On the end of Shabbat, in the yeshiva that I belong to, the rabbi told everybody, he says, okay, now we're going to have a Havdalah, and we have different spices. He says, okay, those of you that are from Central Asia, he says, don't bring your spices. Because we all think of different spices as different. I have a friend from India, and he said, smell this, it's so great. And I said, okay.
It's cumin.
But we all have different ideas of what is a pleasant, curry. They like the curries, and so for them that is a pleasant pleasant
yeah.
spice. For
I like
us,
cinnamon, but
it's a little bit different. So if you go to Asia and congregations in Asia, you will find a different spice. I'm just saying.
okay,